everyone, Lina here with Squeaky, and this will be a short-ish video on nails. The idea for this video came from a few trans women communities where people share that they want a more feminine hands to look for their hands to look more feminine, but they trim their nails immediately as they grow out even a little bit. So I thought that I might share my experience with my nails. I've been wearing these nails for 4 years. I mean, the nails this long, I mean. And let's start with answering a few questions, like a quick FAQ about the longer nails. So, first, the technical part. Are those extensions? The answer is no, those are my nails. When I started, those were extensions, but over time, my nail grew out, and you can see the difference between the gel that covers the nail and the new part that grows out over time, because that it's like the fourth week. I'm gonna do my nails soon, so this is a good opportunity for you to see how it looks when they grow out. Over time, my natural nail grows underneath, and now this all of it is my nail. It's just covered by this specific gel. Again, I'm not sure how it's called in English, whether it's like acrylic gel or any other kind of gel, but the idea is that the person doing your nails, I will call them a nail person from here on out till the end of the video. The nail person, she applies, in my case it's a she applies the gel to the nail. You put the gel into the UV lamp and it solidifies there, it becomes solid. So this is technically a thin layer of plastic on top of your nail. It's not damaging to your nail, but we'll go into details a bit later. So you see the shape? I have the almond shaped nails. Are they sharp? No, in any way. So they're pointy, yes, but they're neither sharp because they're never sharpened. It's just plastic, like a plastic spoon, but more rigid. And neither can they like puncture your skin, nor can they cut your skin. Unlike natural nails, your regular nails that can get jagged over time, and can cause cuts. Those can never cause cuts. So in 4 years, I had zero accidents with those nails, like health-related accidents. Nothing happened to my health, to my skin, to my anything, to my eyes, because of those nails. So, are they brittle? Are they weak? And the answer is no. So you have your natural nail, and yes, it becomes a bit more fragile over time, but we'll get into details a bit later. But the idea is that this is basically like a suit of armor on top of your nail. So it protects your nail and it makes it much stronger. The overall structure is much more rigid and much more formidable. So they don't really bend, don't really break, and even if you put like a decent amount of downward or upward or even upfront force onto the nails, they still stand. For the most part, if they're done correctly by the nail person, they will not get damaged. They will not like bend, break, or anything. They are much stronger than your average, like natural nails. Okay, so is it expensive? Where I live, it's not. I do it once every 4 weeks, and it is not really expensive. I do it once. It usually takes from 90 minutes to 2 hours, and like I pay a certain amount of money, and that's it. And I don't think about my nails for 4 weeks, and I make a new appointment, and that's it. Where I'm from, the service of doing the nails is very, very common. So it's very easy to find a person. The competition is quite high, so the prices are not insane. But I cannot speak for the rest of the world. So I've heard that it's harder to find people to do your nails this way in other parts of the world. But again, we'll touch on it a bit later. So they're not weak, they're not sharp. Those are my nails, and they are not that expensive, and you do not need any maintenance whatsoever. Let's address the elephant in the room. How the hell do you navigate your everyday life with the nails this long? And I've been wearing these nails non-stop for 4 years, and I don't have any troubles with everyday life whatsoever, like any mundane tasks whatsoever. So how does it happen? So what technically happens is that over time your hand grows a new and develops a new set of muscle memory for your fingers and like all of your hand coordination, so you can accommodate your longer nails. Obviously, what you cannot do is use this movement, right? The direct one. So you cannot land your finger directly on a key of a keyboard, for example, or a piano key. So instead, you put it this way: you use the what's it called, right? The pad where the fingerprint is for everything, instead of using the tip of your finger. So how does it happen? Let's say I take my phone, right? So instead of holding anything like this, it will always be like this, never this. So is it difficult to relearn? No, it's not. It will take some time, but you need to focus on never trying to use your tip and always using your pad. For example, can I type? Yes, I can, but I do it differently. So usually all kind of tutorials about typing will tell you to land your fingers vertically on the keys. And the reason for that, so you can access different rows without moving your hand, you just move your finger. The way I type, I obviously, with pressing the buttons with the pad, I cannot type, I cannot move my finger to reach different roles. I have to move my hand. It requires a little bit more effort, but I do type fast enough and with few enough mistakes that I'm content with it. And another thing that I have to use those what's called chiclet keyboards or like Mac type keyboards that have spaces in between the keys. Otherwise, I will be accidentally pressing too many keys at the same time. So I cannot use mechanical keyboards, I can only use those type of keyboards, but I'm fine with that. A quick tip: can you practice wearing long nails without having them long? Yes. What I did, and I recommend it, and people said that it is actually helpful. You can use, if you have like your nails trimmed, that you have no extra length, you can use any kind of post-it notes or any other kind of stick in kind of papers, or any paper with very light adhesive, and you can then cut out the shape you need and put on top of your nails. So your nails will look like obviously will look funny, but they will have those little papers sticking out from the edge of your finger, and from there you can see how often do you hit the paper and the paper bends when you try to operate things like navigate your everyday life like for an hour or two or whatever. So, and you can try to type with it, and you can try to practice using everything with the pad of a finger, not with the tip of a finger. So in short, if we recap, relearning to do everything with the pad of your finger instead of the tip of your finger takes time, but it's completely possible. And if even if I encounter anything in my everyday mundane life that requires using the tip, you can use the tools. You know, this thing that we've been using for millennia, the tools. There is always some kind of a tool that can help you out. And I can understand if it irritates you, the idea that sometimes you need a tool, but overall, I've never been really stuck with a task that I'm not able to perform because of the nails. So the next question is whether you can grow your nails out like this, because like the armor and the artificial thing on top of it is one thing, but it's about the shape of the nails, right? And how do you get your nails shaped like this? So first, if you grow them longer, then you have more room to work with, obviously. But we'll take this sheet of paper as an example. Obviously, it's easy to operate your nails if they look like this, right? Then you file them anyway, like round, almond, square, whatever shape. But what if your nails look like this, right? So this is your nail, and the tip of your finger is very wide, maybe even like trapezoid, growing to the sides. And you think like, I can never do anything feminine-ish or feminine, even remotely feminine, with the nails like this. So can this shape become more narrow? And the answer is yes, it happens like this, right? So it looks very wide from here, but if we bend it like this, then you can see from this half pipe position, it is taken much less horizontal space, and doesn't affect anything else. So this what happens to your nails. Naturally, your nails will be very flat, but if you wear your nails like this a lot, like for a long time, your nails will start to bend naturally. My nails were not like this. I don't have pictures, unfortunately, but my nails were not like this when I started. A lot of them, like except for maybe my pinky, every other nail I have, they were very wide, not long, and they were very flat. So if you look at from the front, they were very flat. But now all of my nails are like half pipe position, all of them. It happens naturally over time when you wear those kind of gel protection, right? Gel armor on top of your nail. So you can Google YouTube tutorials that either say wide nails manicure or trapezoid nails manicure, and you will find those videos. I'm not recommending it for you to watch and learn from them, but just to see as a demonstration that it's possible to have wide nails um, become very feminine looking. And from those tutorials, you might notice that they either have a voiceover that doesn't match the lips of a person talking, or they have a very thick Russian accent in them. And that happens for a reason. From my research, and it comes from multiple different sources, the easiest and most sure way to do your nails like this in Europe and in USA and probably in Australia too is to find a person from Eastern Europe that migrated to said country like Europe, USA, or Australia, and they will bring their craft with them. The only intimidating thing might be is to find them, and just don't be scared of the Russian accent and people speaking like this. This is not because they want to kill you. This is just how they speak. I know that Russian or Ukrainian accent can be seen as like intimidating, but overall, quite likely, if you want your nails done like this, you will have to find a person that migrated from the Eastern European region. So while we're at it, let's debunk a few myths about the nails. The first one would be, do they become weak? And well, technically they don't become like weak. It doesn't damage your nail that you have armor over them. But what happens is that your nail doesn't have to develop the natural protection, which technically makes it a bit weaker and thinner because it doesn't need as many layers to not break. So it becomes technically very thin. If you take your nails off, those gel nails, then your natural nail will be quite thin, but it's not because it was damaged, it's because it didn't need to protect itself, and over time it will just grow back to um, thicker state where it protects itself from the environment, right? So overall, no, it's not dangerous for your nails. How often did I actually break my nails? In 4 years, I broken my nail once. It was my pinky. It was a very unfortunate situation where I didn't even do like I just moved my whole hand and hit an object while moving my hand, and it just the I didn't hit the tip of the nail. It hit the middle of a nail, and maybe there was like a structural weakness, maybe a little bit of mistake from a nail person who were doing that. So I did break my nail once, but it was once in 4 years. They're this um, strong, right? Overall, don't be afraid of like doing those extensions. They're fine. Like from research I have and from my experience, they're fine for your nails. They're fine for your health. It's not a scary thing. Let's quickly wrap things up in like rapid fire style. So, does it hinder me in any way? No. Can I type? Yes. Can I use the mechanical keyboard? No. Are they weak? No, they're very strong. Do they break easily? No, they don't. Are they sharp? No, they're not. Is it my nail? Yes, it is. Can you achieve this over time if you have wide nails? Yes, you can. From you start doing those kind of extensions, and over time your nail will become like half pipe shaped, and from there you can style your hand to look how you want. Like for example, I'm still what's called self-conscious about the wide knuckles I have. This is why I really like the almond shape. It's just I like how the hand looks with it. And can you do this in your region? If you find an Eastern European person doing the nails, yes, you can. Is it expensive? I do not know for your region, but it shouldn't be that expensive, and you do it once a month. One more thing I forgot to address right away, and like part of the rapid fire section, can I use gloves? Yes, I can easily use gloves. So those are the short gloves, and I don't like I will never damage my fingers and my nails in the gloves at all. And I even have the longer gloves with me now. You remember I told you in the first video that I use those gloves with my coat. That is like short sleeved coat. Those are the long, almost elbow long gloves. And again, I can use the glove easily, and the nails. I will never damage anything. It's very safe, and I don't even have to think about selecting the gloves. Like I just found those gloves and bought those gloves. I didn't care about the size, and I like how it looks. I don't really care about the extra measurements or whatever. Like I bought them, I love them, not a problem whatsoever. And I forgot to address an important thing on what not to do with the nails. Even though they're very strong, you don't want to obviously try to use the nail to pry things up, right? You don't want to use your nail when it applies well, it will be an upward, right, force to the nail. This will obviously be very bad for your nail. But so you try to minimize using your nails as the way to scoop something up, but instead you always have the pair of what's it called, tweezers, right? Pincers. I'm not sure, but they're always handy. So if you need to pick up something light, it's very handy. But try not to apply the force upwards, obviously, upwards or this way. Another thing that you need to pay attention to is when you're putting on like jeans, pants, or anything. You obviously never want to, or if you're just using the towel, you never want to use your nails to push things up, right? You always use the side of your hand for this. So, for example, if it's a towel, it's over here. You go like this instead of doing it with your fingers up. It will take a bit of getting used to, but this is again advice in the same general groove of not using the tip of your nail and using the pad. That was it. That was a shorter video on nails. Unfortunately, this week and like previous week and the beginning of the next week, I couldn't really shoot more. So that would be it. And the next video will be about me telling my story, my coming out, my everything. It will be a longer one, and it will be a more detailed one. Um, but regarding this video, I want to share. I finally got a better setup. I have a mic. I like removed it from the shot because the camera kept focusing on the mic and I was not in focus. But I got the better mic. I got better PC to process video in higher than 1200 by 700. So I actually can now record full HD. Hopefully it will look better than it used to. Maybe not. It depends on the skill of a person. I'm not that skilled. I'm a newbie in this, but hopefully it is. Hopefully it sounds better. Hopefully it looks better, and you can actually select 1080p for the video. And I just hope that will be better and better from this point moving on. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye. Am I in focus? And thank you. Okay, 3, 2, 1.